Welcome guys to the Meet Damien live stream. I am Damien, and today's live stream we talk about Bitcoin. I'm going to try to keep it a cryptocurrency related focus live stream here, unless you guys want me to talk about stocks, commodities here. But I wanted to keep the focus on Bitcoin and cryptos because I think Bitcoin could be on its way to 80K here if we break past certain levels here. Right now I can tell you that Bitcoin is doing something that's nice here by making higher lows here, basically frustrating the crap out of the bears, frustrating the crap out of the short sellers out there. I mean, we came down low here on Sunday down to 65K, and we haven't threatened to challenge that, making higher lows on the last couple of daily candles here. Bitcoin, what it needs to do is it needs to actually punch through 74K here. Okay, 74,100 was the high that we saw last Wednesday. Okay, could we do that tomorrow? Can we make, this Wednesday coming up, the day that we actually punch through 74K? I'm not sure. We're gonna have to look at the momentum, see if Bitcoin has the momentum to do that. But then of course after 74K comes 78K, which could act as resistance before we hit 80K. It might get a little bit, a little bit shy. It might not be willing to test 80K. It might actually come up to 78K, go sideways there just to see if this is a resistance level that we can push past through here. And then we might be heading on our way to 80K. Now when we get to 80K, there is some levels to look out above us as well. We got 84,500 and 87K here, which has acted as support and resistance back in November and December of last year and January of this year. Those are levels that we need to be on the lookout for if we start getting into 80Ks. But I think right now we got to get past 74K and then 78K. Those are the levels that I'm looking for here on Bitcoin. That I feel like we're getting close to it. Like, getting up to 78K is only 10% away, and 74K is like a 5%, 6% move up in price from where we are right now. And I just like the structure that I'm seeing here on Bitcoin, where we're making higher lows on a daily time frame. We keep doing that, and the short sellers and the bears are going to give up, and they're putting their stop losses right above 74K. Right? If I go into the liquidation heat map, take a look at liquidation heat map. I'm pretty sure that they are putting their stop losses there, but let's take a look at that just to make sure that I got the correct narrative here as like why Bitcoin could go up to like 78K. Right now I see that stop losses here, the stop losses are actually hanging out at 72K, so they're getting a little bit more ballsy with the stop losses and liquidation levels for the bears out here. There's some liquidation here at 72K that I think we could still eat up and chew through to go to higher prices for Bitcoin. Liquidation levels below us, I mean, the longs, the bulls are putting their stop losses at like 68K, 68,400 here. And we do have a level above us here at 71,300. That's where the fresh shorts have been putting their stop losses in, because I think if I go back to how high did we get up to on Bitcoin, we actually got up to like 71,800. So the shorts are putting their stop losses really tight, and I think we can just come in and just take them out if that's the case here, and actually get the liquidity and the rocket fuel to send us up to higher prices here. But I don't know. You guys tell me, how do you feel about that? Am I completely talking out of my ass here? Or do you guys feel as though like Bitcoin could make a run up to 80K here? Let's see. I'm going to check on the comments here on TikTok, see what you guys have to say. I am doing a TikTok and a YouTube live stream at the same time here. Cameron doesn't like the music? Okay, Cameron. Alright. What kind of music do you like to listen to, Cameron? Just out of curiosity. I don't know if you're making a joke or not, because I do play this music every now and then. Cameron says, what's happening, crazy crypto people? I think he just busted my chops about the music. I think Cameron actually likes this music, but he wants to like say it's awful. Alright, let's see. We got another person here saying, what level to break to get to 80K? I just recently said it. We got to get past 74K, which is the recent high that we made last Wednesday. But then also 78K could act as a resistance, and there's really not much resistance. Once we get past 74 and 78K, I think, you could see Bitcoin heading right up to like 84K before it gets significant resistance, and that's the previous support level that we held back in November and December, which is now going to act as resistance going forward if we ever get up there. So right now I think 74K, just because that was, you know, the high from last week, and then 78K was the area that we traded at sideways for a little bit here, for a few days, not too many days. I'm not sure how strong of a resistance this is going to be, but it is something to look out for the day traders that are paying attention to the markets right now, that are day trading Bitcoin and crypto. All right, let me see what else we got here for comments here. I think that's it for now. All right. Cameron, let me know, were you really serious about the music? I never heard you comment about the music. I feel like you might actually be like a house music kind of guy. But we have played this kind of music before, and we play like 80s retro music. I can go to the 80s music if you want to change it to the 80s music. Thank you all, PopCat, for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. So let's see. We talked about Bitcoin. I gave you the upside targets. Now, what could Bitcoin do if it's not going to be bullish? Well, first we got to see, are there signs that Bitcoin's not bullish? Let's take a look at the MACD indicator, see what the momentum is. The momentum is still, buying pressure is still here, guys. So I'm not sure if I can even make a bearish case for Bitcoin right now. Okay. I am currently in the Bitcoin long myself. And I'm thinking Bitcoin can at least go up to like 73, 74K before I take profit on my long. And then as far as like, let's see, money flow goes in. So here's the thing about money flow. Money flow is actually in the negative, even though Bitcoin price is creeping up higher and higher. But you can see that money flow has been also creeping up higher and higher. It's still, you know, in the red and negative, but it's not as negative as it was back here in February. You can see the money flow, this magenta stuff, purple stuff, whatever you want to call it. This money flow is starting to climb its way back up to higher levels here. Slowly but surely, not doing it in a spectacular fashion, but you keep doing this and you're going to frustrate the crap out of the bears like you've been doing, you know, making these higher lows. And then you can also see it on momentum wave. We got higher low, and now we're starting to get a green buy dot above the midline here, right? Before we get in green buy dots while still in like negative territory, but now we're getting a green buy dot and we're in like positive territory here on our way up to higher prices here. So could we see something like we saw back here in January when we get green money flow and you see Bitcoin going up to 90K, 97K? I mean, I know you guys remember what Bitcoin was like back in January. It was only a couple of months ago, unless you're brand spanking new to cryptocurrencies here. But I think, you know, if money flow keeps doing what it's doing right now, we're gonna see higher prices, not low prices here. So I know, like, you know, some people are bearish out there. Some people think, you know, Bitcoin needs to be shorted, but we could still come up to 84K, and we could still be bearish on Bitcoin, right? I wouldn't really be totally bullish and ready to go, you know, swing for the fences on Bitcoin unless we get past 97K, which is what we did in January. You get past that, and then, you know, Bitcoin's doing something different here. But we can still come up to 87K, right? Let me just draw this out. We can still come up to 84 to 87K, get rejected at 87K, and come back down. And guess what? This is a lower high compared to the lower high that we saw here in January, all right? And even January, right, was a lower high than what we saw back here in November and October, okay? So you can still make a bearish case for Bitcoin if you're still bearish on Bitcoin. It's just that sometimes there are relief rallies. And, you know, we saw the relief rally in January, right, where Bitcoin climbed up to 97K after it dropped down to like what? It dropped down to 80K. So that was a little bit of a relief rally. I think we're getting the same thing going on here in February going into March, where we get a little bit of a relief rally. And yeah, maybe we could come up to 84, 87K. Maybe it doesn't get that high. Maybe it's only 78K. Okay? I think the bears are banking on the fact that it's only going to be as high as 74K. And now they can start shorting Bitcoin again. Okay? But the momentum on the daily time frame, I'll go back to it, is that the MACD is showing that there's still buying pressure here, and buying pressure is increasing versus what it was kind of dying off here this weekend going into Monday, and now here we are on Tuesday. We're getting more buying pressure showing up here on Bitcoin, you know, with Bitcoin at 70K again. So let me just check out the messages, see what you guys have to say about that. Guys, I have to admit, I am sick this week. I have a some might call a man flu. I have a man flu going on right now. And I might make this a shorter live stream than I normally do. I usually do 2-hour live streams. So if you guys have any cryptos or altcoins you want me to talk about, any stocks, go ahead and put those requests in. Because I'm probably going to make this a shorter live stream. If you guys show up like an hour later into the live stream and make a request, I'm going to just say, hey guys, I don't got the energy for it. So you need to get it in now while I still got the energy to look at the look at these stocks and cryptos for you. I do see we got a request for Plume. Let me go ahead and write that down. That was formerly Frojo asking for a Plume. Okay, I got you on Plume. And I see DualiC is in the YouTube chat. Good to see you, DualiC. Thank you for putting in the comment. Let me know you're there. Appreciate that. Let me know if there's any crypto or stock you want me to take a look at. We're going to look at Plume after we look at Bitcoin here. I think I am finishing up on Bitcoin. I really don't see a bearish case for Bitcoin right now until I see money flow going down and I see, you know, I see the momentum, the MACD showing buying pressure dying off, but buying pressure started increasing again. So I don't know if I can be bearish on Bitcoin right now. But, you know, if Bitcoin does come down to lower levels here, I do think 67K is still important, right? That's a support level. And then also 63K, we know that Bitcoin does not stay at 63K for longer than 1 day before we get, you know, taken up to higher prices again. So those are your levels to look for if you're still bearish on Bitcoin. Those are take profit targets to the downside for the bears and the shorts out there. All right, let's move on from Bitcoin. We'll take a look at Plume. And don't mind me, guys. I am sick, so if you hear me sniffling, I'm sorry, but not sorry. I'm actually sick, and I showed up today to do your requests and look at these cryptocurrencies. I really need to go back and take a nap again and get some more energy. But here I am, you know, showing up for you guys. So, you know, just bear with me if I end up coughing or sneezing or sniveling here with my man flu. All right, so we're looking at Plume. Plume's up 6% today, trading at 0.013 pennies. What can Plume do for us here? You look like you had a pretty good week last week here on Plume. You got some nice green daily candles showing up here. Looks like you're kind of starting to do some consolidation here, going sideways rather than continuing your exponential run up to higher prices here. Had us continue up to higher prices, I think we would have butt our heads up against penny and a half. I think penny and a half was the when last time I looked at this cryptocurrency, I think we said penny and a half was going to be a resistance level. Let's see, here on Sunday, we almost got up to a penny and a half. We pretty much almost got up to a penny and a half. We got up to 0.014 pennies here, 0.0147 pennies here on Plume on Sunday here. So I think we already kind of hit the level that we were looking for. Let me go up on the VRVP indicator to see if there's any other levels to look out for here on Plume. So we know we got a high volume node here. This is now saying that 0.013 pennies is where the high volume node's at. And then of course you see that there's the 0.015, there's the penny and a half high volume node here. So that's where I would expect more resistance for Plume. And then going forward, I think 0.017 pennies should be another area of resistance, because that's your point of control, your blue line there. You've got your highest volume node. Good majority of people were buying and selling Plume, especially back in January, at like 0.017 pennies. So that's your level to be looking for to the upside. Take some profit. And if you're, you know, inclined to do so, maybe take a short if you want to. And if you can get past 0.017 pennies, then maybe your short's going to get stopped out. And you could see this thing climb all the way up to like 0.022 pennies, which is your value area high sitting above you at that level. So that's about what? Let me just measure it out real quick. If we get up to that level there. 76. Oh, perfect number. 69%. You have a 69% upside in this cryptocurrency if we get up to that value area high sitting at 0.022 pennies. So I just moved the chart. That's why the VRVP kind of just changed up on me. But I think, yeah, I think 0.022 pennies makes a lot of sense here to try and take some profit if you haven't done so already on Plume. But what is Plume doing right now? Because we are kind of like consolidating right now. Let's see, do we got the momentum to go up to higher prices? Momentum, MACD, is still showing that there's buying pressure here. So I think you kind of got to chill out a little bit. Obviously, if we have more buying pressure, you'll see us go back up to $1.50 or higher. But buying pressure looks pretty solid right now on Plume, so I think you can still be, you know, long and bullish on this cryptocurrency. And then let's see what money flow is doing real quick here. Money flow, of course, just like Bitcoin, money flow has been in a negative here. But you can see that money flow is now creeping up higher. And if it continues this trend, you'll see a money flow flip to the upside where this thing will start getting money flow in the green, and you'll definitely see some higher prices there for Plume. So I think you could still be long on Plume. Risk to the downside, if there is going to be any risk here. Let's look at the Fibonacci. Actually, well, I can just show you what I'm seeing right now with the VRVP indicator. There is the value area low here at like 0.01 pennies. You got a high volume node here. Also a little bit of high volume node here at basically 1 penny. But let's measure this move up here from the swing low to the swing high. And you can see there is a 618 at 0.012 pennies, which is kind of like we went down there earlier today. There's also the 0.5 retracement at the 0.01 pennies, 0.011 pennies to be exact, and that's confluent, you know, with the VRVP indicator showing that there's a value area low there. So I'll probably mark this on the chart here for targets to the downside, 0.011 penny. Okay, mark that on your chart. And then also you can see there's also some confluence here with the 0.382 at roughly 1 penny. There's a confluence between the 0.382 level and then also a high volume node here sitting at about a penny. So I think, yeah, about a roughly a penny. Well, it's not really a penny. It's like 0.0109 pennies. Okay, so 0.0109 pennies is where I would try to scoop up some cheaper Plume. You could try putting 1 penny in there, but I don't know if we're actually going to hit that level. There is some support at 0.0109 and 0.0116 pennies here. Alright. Darson, thank you for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. Thank you, Monas, for following me here on TikTok. Guys, you have any requests? If not, I mean, we'll definitely make this a short live stream for sure, because I am sick and I just showed up, you know, I tried my best to show up for you guys. But I really don't have the energy to do a 2-hour live stream, so let me know what kind of stock, crypto, commodity you want to take a look at. I do want to take a look at the price of oil because I did see that price of oil had some couple of crazy days here. Right now, price of oil trading at $86.63. I think we've seen this thing get as low as 76 bucks. Yeah, $76.85 here. We are hitting some Fibonacci levels on this as well. Okay, there's a 0.382 level at $79. We actually came down here, we wicked below it. Okay, and right now we're kind of trading right back at the 0.5 retracement level at $87 here for oil. Would be nice to see if oil could climb itself back up to $94 or $97. Then maybe we can enter some shorts over there. Okay. But I think, yeah, the shorts, they've already made their money today and today. You had a really nasty red candle here on the price of oil, right? Where you opened up as high as $109, went as low as like $81, and then closed out at 84 bucks here, down 6.7%. That's a pretty monster red candle there. You didn't see that candle anywhere else on the charts here lately. So there's definitely liquidity and traders trading oil. What is the momentum like? I'm going to get rid of the VRVP indicator, but what is the momentum looking like here for oil? We still got buying pressure showing up here on oil. Now the buying pressure kind of like died off compared to what it did on Monday and Sunday here. But you are seeing still buying pressure showing up on the chart here on the daily time frame for oil. And then let's see what else we got here on the money flow. Money flow is still in the green. It's been in the green ever since the middle of January. Right when we started hearing about the protests in Iran, okay? That's when the price of oil started bidding up, and we started seeing money going into oil. And for damn sure, you definitely see money going into oil. We did get a red sell dot here on Tuesday, which was, what, today? Tuesday, March 10th? So that's probably showing that there's, yeah, we definitely had a sell-off yesterday and definitely a sell-off today. But the thing is, you still got money flow in the green, so the sell-off might be short-lived here on oil. And that's unfortunate for those at the gas pump, but I guess if you know how to trade the markets or you're invested in oil companies, you can get your money back by being invested in oil. So that's what I've been trying to do. I bought some oil contracts a month ago, and even last week I was trading oil. And I also have exposure to oil stocks through this ETF called XLE, which is a way to trade oil. And they have like ExxonMobil, Chevron, all those oil companies in like one basket of stocks, and that's how I've been able to take advantage of the price of oil going up. So, you know, if it is going to go up, at least I can get my money back by having some oil stocks. All right, let's see. Thank you, Julian Gonzalez, for following me here on TikTok. And thank you, Dearson, for following me. I think I already said that. Thank you, Dearson, for following me up on TikTok. Let's see. Alright, you guys not really putting any requests here. Not so much a lively bunch here. Let's see. I don't want to just talk, just keep on talking. I might actually make this a short live stream. Very short live stream if I don't get any more requests here. Because I don't already have the energy to do this. I figured I'd come on, see what you guys have to say about, you know, cryptocurrencies. You know, we got Ethereum back at $2 grand, Bitcoin back at 70 grand here. Price of oil still doing crazy things here. Gold back up 5,200 bucks, silver back at 88 bucks. And no one really wants to talk about cryptocurrencies or stocks or commodities. So I'm not getting any requests. So if it's going to be a dead live stream, I might as well just end it. And yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do here. Guys, I appreciate you guys coming on to the Meet Damien live stream. We'll try to go live again tomorrow. Maybe you guys have some stocks or cryptos you guys want to take a look at. But there's no point in me talking and just to talk about, you know, nothing, whatever. If you guys don't want to talk about cryptos or stocks, I might as well just go back to sleep again and go get my energy back ready for tomorrow. Because I am fighting a man flu here, so. I'll go back to day trading again. Maybe get into a Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick here before I go. I want to see what Bitcoin's going to do in the next 12 hours, next 12 to 24 hours. And for that, I got to go into the 1 hour time frame here. And I see that, you know, on the 1 hour time frame, we're still on an uptrend, making higher lows, higher highs here, right? Let's see what the momentum is. This is where I get an idea of like what could happen later on tonight. So we are, you know, this is kind of ominous here that we did have a MACD crossover to the downside. I came in at 1 p.m. Eastern time here. That's, you know, once you saw that, that's when the sell pressure came in here. We got selling pressure showing up with these red candles here. And this, you know, if this continues on, you're going to see lower prices here for Bitcoin. So maybe Bitcoin actually does dip down to like 69K one more time here. But the way things have been going with the charts here is that Bitcoin's been, you know, it's been in an uptrend. So if we start going down to low prices, if we go lower than, I would say, this candlewick low here at 69,275, then you're probably going to see more accelerated sell-off here down into like 68K and possibly 67K here. Okay? But we got to break below 69,270 for us to see more selling pressure to the downside here on Bitcoin. I think it actually might be prudent if you're bullish on Bitcoin, which I am, to actually add to your long and put your stop loss right below 69,200 and try to ride this bad boy up to higher prices here. That's if you're bullish. But that's the 1 hour time frame. Let's see if there's anything different on the 15-minute time frame, which is another small time frame for the day traders here. And you can see that we are kind of rounding out, kind of bottoming out here. Kind of creating a higher low compared to what we saw here at 10 a.m. So I actually am interested in actually entering adding to my Bitcoin long position here. So I'm actually going to do that here on the live stream. I'm actually going to put a long in on Bitcoin. I'm going to put the stop loss right below 69,275. And I'm going to try to target 74K if I can, but I think, you know, I might take profit later on tonight if we get up to like 72 or 73K. So let me go ahead and try to do that here if I can with you guys here on the charts. Let's see. This is me trading on WEEX platform here. Do a little 40x long. Let's see if I do 40x long on Bitcoin. What can I get here? Let's see. I'm going to do a market order. Put in about maybe... I might do $50 a margin here. I'm not sure yet. I might do $100. Let's see. Take profit at 74K. I'll make 112 bucks. I'll be up 200%. And let's see. Stop loss would be 69,270 is what we said. I'll lose about $29 on that this new fresh long that I'm going to try to take on Bitcoin here. So let's go ahead and do that. I think I like that for now. But I could lose $29 or I can make $113. Let's do that. Boom, I just entered more of a long here on Bitcoin. And I got 40x leverage long. It says I got in at 70,100. I recently got in just now at 70,250. But that's because I already had some more margin in there. I already had a position in there. So my margin's at 101 bucks here. I just added $50 of margin with that 40x long that I just took out just now. So yeah, that's what I'm aiming for, is that I think Bitcoin actually wants to go up. We shall see. You know, we could get a fake out on the MACD on the 15-minute time frame, but I like the fact that the blue line's curving up. Then the next thing I want to see is the blue line curve up and actually cross the orange line to the upside, and then you'll start seeing green buying pressure candles showing up on the 15-minute time frame, like you saw back here at 10 o'clock in the morning. And you saw Bitcoin climbing up to like $71,000, almost $72,000 here. I like seeing this here. I think you could take a long on Bitcoin right now. I put my stop loss at 69,270, but if you want to keep it tighter than that, you could put your stop loss right below this candle wick low at 69,700. Okay, but the thing is that this thing could come down, stop you out, make a a lower low compared to that, and then still go up to higher prices, and that would just suck. So I would like to see the price go up on my long here, but I'm putting a stop loss here because I don't know if we're going to try to retest. We could come down to 69,500 and then launch up to higher prices. So this is a way for me to stay in my long. And I'm only going to risk $29 if I do get stopped out. Alright. So yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this live stream. You just saw me go into a long on Bitcoin. I'll try to have a better stream tomorrow. Hopefully I won't feel as sick, but yeah, I feel like today is the worst day of the week for me right now as far as like being sick. And then also I'm not getting any requests so far. I got one request and that's it. And then most of this has been me talking about whatever I want to look at. I do see we got Quinn here saying you're blessed in the first 5 people to message you. Okay. Don't be scamming people on my live stream here, Quinn. If I find out that's what you're doing, you're never going to be able to come back on this live stream. Alright, guys. Let's plan on doing this again tomorrow, same time. I'll see you then. Take care and good luck trading and investing in whatever asset you decide to trade. Take care, guys.